And why is it so hard for the church to speak out on issues that are diametrically opposed to the gospel? He said the reason why we can easily see the injustice of the minority but can't hear the voice of those in the Christian majority is because what many in the household of faith fail to realize is that they're sitting way too high in the air. On September 16th at 7:36, Terrence Crutcher, a 40-year-old father of four, a music student at Tulsa Community College, was approached by officers Betty Scott and Tyler Turnbow. In Officer Shelby's account, which was before the disturbing helicopter video was recorded, she insists that Mr. Crutcher was not responding to her commands and thus pulls out her gun because she didn't know if Crutcher had a weapon. It would seem as soon as Shelby draws her weapon that the video that many of us have seen then shows the rest of the story. But what challenges me this morning is not just what I saw, but what I heard. As the helicopter is circling the 36th Street where Crutcher is walking with his hands in view, the helicopter pilot David Shelby, who is believed to be married to Officer Betty Shelby, engages in a conversation with another individual from at least 500 feet in the air. One of them makes the unsettling revelation that Crutcher from 500 feet in the air looks like a bad dude and that he looks like he's on something. But what disturbs me is how Terrence looks like a bad dude from so high up. How does one look substandard from that vantage point? How does one look poor and inferior and second rate and inadequate and unacceptable and deficient from that high altitude? Now, this has been troubling me all week because you can't see a man's morality from his outer appearance. You can't see his ethical standards from the melanin in his skin. You can't see the services that he attended at his local church. You can't see the work that he put in to educate himself. You can't see how he tried to be a faithful father. But I believe I'm surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses who can testify. Some people have been flying in their holier than thou helicopter, judging you without sufficient evidence. Is there anybody in the house who can testify? Some people have judged you based on stuff that they have no idea about and called you everything but a child of God. They lied on you. They scandalized your name. They tried to drag your family through the mud. And the only way that you are still here today and not locked up for voluntary manslaughter is because something was on you. Yeah, you were on your best behavior, because if it wasn't for the peace of Jesus, if it wasn't for the joy of Jesus, if it wasn't for his loving kindness and his tender mercy, you would have told that hater where to go and how to get there. But you held your tongue and let Jesus fight your battle. Is there anybody in the house with me who can testify that if it wasn't for God on your side, that if it wasn't for grace, if it wasn't for the Holy Spirit holding you back, you would have got locked up a long time ago? You would have lost that job a long time ago. But is there anybody in here who can thank God for the Holy Spirit? Is there anybody in here who can thank God for wisdom? See, some of our testimonies is, listen, you should have caught me 3 years ago. You say what you said to me today 3 years ago and you would have got got something, but now that I'm in church, now that I'm trying to live right, I don't cuss every day, but try me one time. See if I don't open up the windows of heaven. Y'all ain't gonna talk back to me. Is there anybody in here? Can you help me preach this sermon? Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, thank God for Jesus. Thank God. Thank God for Jesus.